Now let's see the step of germination, tahapan dari berkecambah. Okay, the first of course here seed, because germination is the process of seed into seedling. After that, the root will grow first, and then the shoot appears, tunas muncul, and then after that, okay, yeah, the young plant grow. The young plant develop its first leaf and start to make its own food. Look at this. Jadi mulai menghasilkan the first leaf, daun yang pertama, and then start to do photosynthesis. Remember, when the seed, they do not need to make food because the seed has cotyledon that store food. Jadi seed ini sudah punya cotyledon that store food. But after it grow into seedling, now it start to make its own food because it has leaf now. Jadi sudah punya daun, so the plant start to do photosynthesis. This is the step of germination. Now how about non-flowering plant? How do non-flowering plant reproduce? Okay, so we have finished with the flowering plant. The flowering plant reproduce by their seed. The process is pollination, fertilization, dispersal seed, and then the last germination. Now, how about non-flowering plant? How do they reproduce? Bagaimana sih kalau tanaman tidak berbunga itu berkembang biak? Okay, now let's see. The non-flowering plant can reproduce from the seed and then the spores. So there are two ways here. The non-flowering plant that reproduce from the seed and then the spores. Jadi bisa lewat biji ataupun spora. Now let's see the first, the non-flowering plant that reproduce from the seed. Okay, this is called Gymnosperm. Yeah, this is called Gymnosperm. Jadi non-flowering plant that reproduce from seed, we call this is Gymnosperm, or in bahasa tumbuhan biji terbuka. Why we say this is tumbuhan biji terbuka or gymnosperm? Because the seed are not enclosed in fruit. Jadi biji itu tidak ada di dalam buah, or we can say this is not protected by the ovary. Tidak dilindungi oleh bakal buah. The seed not protected by the ovary. So the seed not enclosed in fruit. Jadi tidak ada di dalam buah. We call this is the gymnosperm, the non-flowering plant that reproduce from seed. What are the example? The example is the groups of conifers. Jadi kelompok conifers, ada pine tree is pinus, and then firs, ada cypresses, junipers, cedars, and redwood. Jadi ada pohon pinus, ada pohon cemara, and then ada aras, and then kayu merah. This is the examples of the groups of conifers. Jadi conifers ini is included in the groups of gymnosperm, the seed that are not protected in the ovary or not enclosed in fruit, tidak ditutupi buah. Okay, look at the example here. How do they reproduce? Okay, look at this. Okay, male cone. You can see the male cone and then the female cone. Okay, this is the male cone, and then this is the female cone. The pollen. Look at this text. If it is not clear, you can see your book. The pollen grain released by the male cone. Jadi dilepaskan oleh male cone and then carried by the wind. Jadi this is small and light, so it is carried by the wind, and then grain on the female cone. Jadi sama seperti pollen transfer to stigma. This is from male cone to the land on female cone. After that, the ovule in the female cone fertilize. Baru di sini terjadi fertilization, and then the seed are produced. Baru dihasilkan dihasilkan biji. After that, wing seed. Jadi karena bijinya wing seed, jadi bijinya ini bersayap ya. It has structure that support them to disperse by the wind. The wing seed are released from the fertilized cone and then carried by the wind. Ini akan dibawa oleh angin. So the germination will happen. Terjadilah proses pengecambahan. It be seedling now, and then grow into adult paint tree. Akhirnya tumbuh tumbuhan pinus. This is the process of reproduction non-flowering plant by the seed.